This is crazy bullish for Solana. One of the two reasons why I've stayed away from Solana as a token has been completely taken off the table. So the first reason, of course, was the fact that Solana was prone to outages. In the last bull market, especially towards the end, it experienced some outages that were really significant. And then, people kind of lost a little bit of hope in Solana, and people were skeptical about its ability to stay up. And, we saw a bunch of crashes. The second thing was the fact that there was some sort of FTX related FUD, which was one of the reasons why it crashed so dramatically during the last bear market, because people were expecting FTX, when they got liquidated, to sell off their massive holdings of Solana, which they didn't. Something dramatic has happened. They have sold off nearly $2 billion worth of Solana tokens, somewhere between 25 to 30 million actual tokens at this price, making it nearly 2 billion, depends on when you take the calculation. So a bunch of companies have bought around $64. That's not all. There's one particular clause in the sale that makes me extremely bullish about Solana now. I've gone from just being skeptical to nearly hating the token to be like, whoa, maybe I might buy some myself. Look at this article, yeah. So FTX sells 25 to 30 million Solana tokens for nearly 1.9 billion at a 60% discount. Sale attracts major firms like Galaxy Trading and Pantera Capital, both well-known names in the field, showcasing interest in Solana despite the market's volatility. The transaction's unique nature, involving a 4-year lockup period, reflect the strategies firms are employing in the market promo. So that is the critical thing, because 4 years from now, if the markets continue to behave the way they've been behaving before, means that that's going to take them through the next bear market. So they're not allowed to sell the Solana tokens. They're locked up through this bull market. So during all-time highs, we've gone from the fear of FTX selling Solana and dumping Solana on the retail market to selling the Solana OTC effectively to these companies, albeit at a discount, but locking them up for the next 4 years. So if the price of Solana were to zoom to $1,000 in a couple of months or so, which is likely and possible, they're not allowed to dump. So this is incredibly bullish. Another thing is that these companies are so bullish on Solana that they're willing to take this deal. I understand that, let's say at the end of the 4 years, they're thinking we're going to be in the next bull market. They're calculating that, now we'll be looking at something like $10,000 Solana, because it would have gone through this bull run, and then the next one, which would probably have flipped Ethereum by then if all the estimates are correct. So even though they're taking on a large risk, if you think about it, the upside is monumental, right? So here's just the story fleshed out a little bit more. It says the transaction sold between 25 million and 30 million sold tokens, part of a larger 2.6 billion cash being sold at 60% discount for $64 each. Man, I wish I could have got in on this deal. So they still got about 700 million left, 0.7 billion left in their collection. So who knows what they're going to do with that? Maybe they will dump that on the retail market, but that's significantly less, even if they did dump that, right? The sales timing is critical considering Sol's current market price hovering around $172. It indicates a hefty concession, but promising a potential lucrative return for the buyers. So can you imagine if the buyers were able to sell now? Imagine buying at 64 cents and dumping now. That would be making more than twice as much, nearly 3 times their money in returns. But they've taken this on, promising to lock for 4 years. It must be that they believe that in 4 years' time, we're not only going to be above $64, we're going to be above $172, which I think is a very, low risk deal. It's a sensible deal, especially if you have the money to take on such a risk. So as you can see, things have changed dramatically for Solana. And now with the looming fear of FTX dumping the token taken away, I expect Solana to surge monumentally in the next pump. So when we get away from this sort of FUD that's been created by the US Fed saying that they might raise rates, the fear of dumping by the US government of Bitcoin from Silk Road stash, when all that disappears and the buying frenzy returns, we're going to see maybe Solana just go to like $300 in the next coming weeks. So not financial advice, do your own research, but yeah, this is looking really, really interesting.